This is Mark and Charity's Coffee Podcast.
Mark and Charity Coffee Podcast, Wednesday morning, August the 9th today. Charity on vacation this week. She'll be back in on Monday. Say hi to Jennifer, who was in touring the station today. Most interesting spot in the studio for her was Charity's empty chair. Oh, Charity's not here. No, she's not. Cindy texted in this morning. Heart goes out to me because I'm in here by myself. Do I sound that pitiful by myself? Is that what it is? Do I just draw so much sympathy? Do I sound pathetic by myself? I don't mean to. Yeah, I'm not joyous she's on vacation. I'm happy for her. Everybody needs a break. I didn't realize that I caused so much pity, concern in the community. So I'll try and be better about that. Hope you're having a great time. It's going to be hot today. 34 with the humidex. Rain might show up again later on. We'll see. After all of that, we've had quite a bit of rain. It's kind of soppy in some areas, but that's probably a good thing. We've endured fires. We've endured fire bans. So a little bit of rain's probably good. That's good. What else going on this week? We had Dragonette on the show yesterday. Once again, she is going to be performing at the Hayloft down in Prince Edward County on Friday. And an important thing is going on in the business community I could not let go by. Because as you'll hear, I've spent a few evenings in my career here in Belleville wearing a very nice suit, holding a microphone, encouraging people to give. Do it for the hospital foundations. Do it for the Children's Foundation. Done it for Humane Society. Lots of organizations. And there are a few dozen people who are at all of them and raise their hand. And they are tremendous givers, very generous philanthropists in our community. A lot of their names come to mind. So when one of them decides it's time to retire of sorts, close up shop, as it were, there's no way I can't not make the phone call, because good things happen because they decided to do something here and deserve a pat on the back. Eric Lindenberg, who you may know is the owner-operator of Red Ball Radio, is closing up shop by the end of August. But if you've ever purchased something from him, you know it isn't just the buying, it's the service that continues long after, especially with things like car radio when he started with, and home electronics and internet and all of that stuff. Service is a big part of that. Eric and his crew have always been absolutely fabulous. What you may not know about Eric is that he's the president of the Runners Club. He was very instrumental for many years on the board with the InQuinte Arts Council, spearheaded raising some money for buildings around the Kinsman Pool and many, many other things, as well as being a hell of a nice guy and a great business owner. And so he's going to be hanging it up, and it was time to pick up the phone.
Mark Philbin, good to hear your voice, my friend.
Good to hear your voice. Congratulations on a tremendous career and going out on a high note. You didn't think you were going to slip away without me calling you, did you?
Oh, I'm so happy you called, Mark. Yes.
Let's take a quick look back. 40 years ago, did you know you would become the entrepreneur that you were going to be remembered as?
No, 40 years ago, I thought I think I got an opportunity here to install a few car radios. So maybe I'll try this for a while and see how it works out. And that was 1983, and I guess it worked out okay.
Yeah, from a business standpoint, I mean, if that were all you did inside, when did you realize that you had the potential to have an impact on growing the downtown, creating a good work environment that you're now known for? When did you start taking responsibility for sort of the neighborhood you were in?
Well, I would say that would have been somewhere around 1989 when we moved up to our current location and expanded our product mix and expanded our workforce as well. And that's when then we we had a different skill set was required for what we were doing, but it all involved the same thought processes. So it was an easy transition to get from car into home audio and installation. So it worked well, but from a community perspective, I've always thought if you're going to live in a community, it's up to you to give back to that community because you are taking from that community on a daily basis. So it's a very easy decision to do that.
Eric Lindenberg closing down Red Ball Radio after 40 years. We'll get into more of the details on that, but I want to touch on all the stuff you've done in the community because I know I've stood in a pretty nice suit with a microphone in my hand, and people like you have raised your hands when it's been needed in the community, whether it was riding your bike, whether it was the Quinte Arts Council stuff you've done. A pretty remarkable feat to have done so much in so little time, really. I know it flies by, doesn't it?
It especially when you're having fun, Mark. So it's all good.
It is. And what about your running? You're still really active, biking and running?
Yeah, it's still part of my routine. It's what kind of keeps my head clear and what keeps me healthy.
Good.
So, yeah, I'm very happy to be on the roads on a regular basis.
Okay, everything's got to go Red Ball Radio. What's your final day?
My final date, hopefully by the end of August is what we're looking for.
And everything's got to go. If you don't want it gone, you better not leave it there.
That's right. It's got to go.
Eric, congratulations on a fabulous career again that goes well beyond just being a business owner. A great guy in the community for everything that you've done, and we want to take some time to pay tribute to you and thank you for your career.
Oh, Mark, I really appreciate the call, and it was so nice to talk to you. And you take care of yourself. Great guy.
We had Bob Doyle of McDonald's on the podcast and on the show about a month ago when Bob hung it up. And when this sort of stuff happens, like again, I worked on the hospital foundation with Bob for 5 or 6 years when he was chair. And I was cutting my teeth learning it, and what a great guy to learn it from. And Eric, over the years, we did ride-alongs, my wife and I, with the Heart and Stroke bike ride. Eric would do 50K backwards faster than I could pedal 10K forwards. Guy's just a jock. But again, I'm reminded of something that Boyd Sullivan, great auctioneer in town, and again, another philanthropist, and guardian angel with the Children's Foundation once said to me, he said, it's important to identify those people in the community who can help and align yourself with them, not just politically, but so that somebody in my position can make sure that the community knows where the help comes from, where the strength in the community is. That's a role that I play and happy to do it. But then to also point out that when one goes, they've got to be replaced. So who are the up-and-coming entrepreneurs? Who are the growing business owners who can take the place of a Bob Doyle, who can take the place of an Eric Lindenberg? And it's important to give them the room and the encouragement to do that because, the same people can't do it forever. Eventually, new blood has to come in and take over helping this community. So we wish Eric all the best. And if you're listening and you're in a position to say, maybe it's my turn. I can donate some time. I can donate some money. And it always starts with time. It's never just about the money. It's always the time and the interest because Eric started out, as you heard, doing car radios. And so he didn't have a lot of money early on to do it, but he had a lot of passion. He had a lot of time. And he decided to put it to the most use for his community. So if you feel the same way, don't believe you can't make a difference because holy smokes, can you ever? Especially now that we've come out of the pandemic when everything's stalled and everything's hard to start up again. When we had momentum year after year after year, it was easy to get into the calendar of events with the galas. Now it's just harder to get everything going. Fresh blood, new ideas, fresh enthusiasm. If you can do that here in the Quinte region, it's desperately needed because we need to move forward. And guys like Eric have had his time, and we need a handful of people who can step up and take his place. So don't be shy. If that's you, do that. We'd really appreciate it. Coming up on the show tomorrow, it's going to be a Throwback Thursday. We're using our Connect 3. So who would you like to hear? Would you like to hear Balamos by Enrique Iglesias? I got Eric said in my mind. Or Livin' La Vida Loca from Ricky Martin, because Enrique and Ricky teaming up with Pitbull for the three of them in the Trilogy Tour, which will be stopping in Toronto on October the 17th. We are handing out tickets for that grand prize draw. It's coming up on Monday. Be listening for your chance to qualify once again tomorrow with our Connect 3 game. We will also have our Superstar movie. We had our summer blockbuster coming up for Galaxy of Games tomorrow morning at 7:15. We'll have that for you as well. Have yourself a great day today, a wonderful evening. Thanks for listening to the podcast. And join me tomorrow morning at 95.5 Hits FM.